Hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for upNXT, postwrestling.com. Usually, we're two nerdy guys who live together. We're roommates, and we watch NXT, wrestling, developmental professional wrestling. And this week, David, we're not here to talk about that.
Oh, no, we are not.
You forced my hand, and you made me watch a movie I've never seen before. And now we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, so you sparked this film in my head when you were talking about this Keanu Reeves film that Kenny Omega loves.
I heard the story of Kenny Omega meeting Keanu Reeves in Tokyo Airport, and it's because he's a huge fanboy of a movie Keanu Reeves directed called The Man of Tai Chi. So I went out of my way, I watched it, and I was like, holy shit, this movie's amazing. And you're like, you think that's crazy? You should watch The Raid. Redemption. And well, that's what we did today. But then we went on Twitter. It's an app. It's free. And we went on this thing and we said, hey, we're going to do this movie review. Check out our movie reviews. We've done a few here at upNXT, Post Wrestling, BDE. And a friend of Post Wrestling, a family friend of Post Wrestling, he was a little mad that we didn't throw an invite for the review. So
he was furious.
He's so mad. In fact, he's so mad that he has now interrupted our review, and he's decided to join in as the third man. So please welcome W.H. Park.
Hi guys, I'm very excited. Long timer, first timer here.
First time, long time. Oh, of course. Yeah, you never leave us feedback for NXT. You don't watch NXT, I guess.
No, I do watch NXT.
It doesn't happen in the Tokyo Dome. It doesn't count.
No, it's like I watch at a different schedule than you because we're in different time zones. Dude.
Where are you right now?
Where am I right now? I'm in Japan.
Okay, where?
Where? I'm in a city called Numazu. Like if you ever actually listen to my fucking show,
right.
you would know this fucking information, wouldn't you, Braden?
Listen, I don't. There's a lot of places to live in Japan, and I just don't remember the names of them. If it's not Tokyo, I don't know it.
See, you're so limited about your experience in Japan. I was thinking about this the other day. Like I thought about my time in Osaka. You love Tokyo, Braden.
Yeah.
You would fucking like love Osaka.
Do they have Strong Zeros?
Dude, they got Strong Zeros.
They got what's the restaurant you took me to?
I took you to Saizeriya.
Saizeriya. Okay, David, you need to learn about Saizeriya.
What is this?
It's a Japanese restaurant. Get this, where you can go and you can get pizza.
Okay.
Well, it's a quote unquote like Italian family restaurant.
Right.
It's a chain.
In Japan. Is it good?
In Japan, yeah.
Dude, it's lit.
Oh, it's great.
Dude, I want an upNXT shirt that says... How do you say this again?
Oh, fuck. Saizeriya.
Saizeriya? Oh, dude, you
yes.
gotta go to Saizeriya. All the wrestlers know about Saizeriya.
Yeah, Saizeriya is like really cheap. You get quite a lot of food for Japan.
Right.
And it tastes good. It actually tastes good. It's better than most family restaurants that are twice the price.
Saizeriya. Saizeriya?
Yeah.
I'm Googling it now.
He's literally looking at it and he's like, hey.
Are you serious? You can't fucking pronounce this, Braden? Saizeriya.
Saizeriya.
Have you already had a Strong Zero?
I've had a few. No, if there's two things I miss most from Japan, it's you, WH. No, it's Saizeriya and it's Strong Zeros. I wish I had a few right now, I'll tell you that. But
are you hinting? Are you implying something?
Are you coming to Toronto for SummerSlam?
I'm coming to Toronto in August.
So, I mean, there's probably room in your suitcase for a few Strong Zeros. Grapefruit.
Are they like Four Locos, but
They're not like Four Locos. They're like, they taste better. Like they actually taste. I wouldn't say they taste good because a lot of people don't like them, but I think they taste good.
Yeah.
And
Depends on what flavor you get.
Yeah, there's some good flavors and there's some bad flavors. I once tried this like rose or something flavored. You know, like those dried up plum rose things. I don't know.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
9%, David, it's 9% alcohol. It's really dangerous.
Strong. It's called Strong Zero, David. It's Strong Zero, 9%.
I'm not worried about the content. It's more just like, I don't know, Four Locos. I'm not.
No, it's different than Four Locos. Yeah, okay. Four Locos like the American like fuck you up juice.
Yeah.
This is just like, hey, you want to get a little lit?
Okay.
You want to get a little lit and do a little, I don't know, Huracan Rana off the Tokyo Dome. So you're in Japan at the time difference, and we're here recording this on an afternoon because we got nothing else to do. So we're talking about the Raid Redemption. Now, how come you like this movie so much, and how come we're doing this?
Well, I like this movie a lot because I don't know. I watched it, and it's like my thing. You know, I love martial arts movies. I love Hong Kong Shaw Brothers movies. I love like action movies that are, well shot and well acted and well written, and like like this movie's from Indonesia. Do you know? And are you familiar with another movie from the same region called Ong Bak?
Oh yeah, I am actually.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like, it reminds me of that but in a different way. The story is a lot different.
Yeah.
So I saw the trailer for this movie like on YouTube, and I thought, oh shit, that looks interesting. And then I saw it was part of like TIFF's Midnight Madness.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So when was that? Like 2011, I think, just after I came here.
Yeah, it says Toronto International Film Festival from 2011.
Yeah, so I just missed it then because I came here in June of 2011, and that was September of 2011 that it was released. And then you got to understand also, like, Japanese release dates of movies are like so behind unless they're like a big like Star Wars or Marvel movie. It takes forever for movies to come out here. Like, I think I'm gonna have to wait like almost 7 months for John Wick 3 to finally get a release here in Japan.
No.
Yeah, it's disgusting sometimes.
Isn't that movie like filmed and based in like somewhere in Asia? I saw the trailer for the new one. It looks crazy.
Oh, it's in New York, dude.
Oh, is it? Okay, sorry. Maybe the second one. The trailer, I remember he's like being in like this crazy chasing. I don't know. It looks insane. So you got into like martial arts movies. I remember watching Rumble in the Bronx. Does that count as a martial arts movie?
Well, it was shot in Vancouver, but sure.
Yeah, was it really? That makes so much sense.
Dude,
watching that back.
You ever thought, why does the Bronx look so nice?
Yeah.
It's because it was shot in Vancouver.
Because it was in Vancouver. Yeah, I own that on Blu-ray. I should have noticed that. So I watched this movie for the first time, and I thought it was pretty rad. I mean, it's just like people kicking the shit out of each other. You got Mike Shinoda doing the
music,
the score. I don't know if that's like the original or just the American version. That I watched this on Netflix. And, like, it was dubbed.
So, yeah, you watched it dubbed, didn't you?
Yeah.
I watched with subtitles. How did you watch it, WH?
Oh, with subtitles. I
wow.
hate dub.
Yeah,
look at me. Oh, I'm the bad guy.
No, but that's interesting.
No,
you're
the white guy, Braden.
I just, like, I'm at home. I'm sparking up a ting, and I don't want to read.
I just find, I know some things are very different, the actual dub versions. So when I was working in like Austria and Germany, How I Met Your Mother was huge over there.
Okay.
And they said it airs both dubbed and in the original language.
Right.
And they were saying some of the episodes are completely different story dubbed.
Weird.
They're like, all the dialogue is completely different,
like
all the
Power
jokes
Rangers?
are different. It's just like a completely different story. So most of them watch like the American one.
Right.
So I always try and watch the subtitles.
Because you never know what it could...
And it also forces you to like pay attention, I find.
Yeah, but I'm not good at that.
I know, that's why you should do subtitles, to like force yourself.
I get it. I've seen movies with subtitles, but it's hard for me.
Now I'm not a massive like martial arts fan. I just found this film a few years ago when it came out because everyone was talking about it. It was getting great reviews, so thought I'd check it out. And I love it, and I definitely need to watch more in this style, because I've never been a big action guy. Like, I prefer like dramas or comedies and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think with this film, the music especially, the tension throughout the whole thing is so great, and it keeps on building up to like the next boss, who they're fighting next. I love it. I find it interesting because it is an Indonesian film, but it's directed by a Welsh director called Gareth Hugh Evans.
Yeah, that makes no sense to me. What's going on? What happened there?
Apparently he directed a small budget film called Footsteps, and then he was hired as a freelance director to do a documentary about the Indonesian martial art form Pencak Silat. I've probably butchered that. But basically, after doing this documentary, he just became obsessed with this form of martial arts, and therefore started writing The Raid to show off this martial arts in a film. And obviously, since then, he's done the sequel to The Raid. And
this movie's kind of big. I know that a lot of people talk about this movie whenever I talk about action movies.
He directed a film just before this called Merantau, which apparently is pretty popular as well. And I believe the main guy in that film he cast for The Raid.
This guy,
as well.
The same main guy, yeah.
So shall we go into the actual movie itself?
Yes, I feel like once we get into it, we're gonna go on a little tangents anyways. So I guess we should talk about the 2011 film, The Raid.
So this is set in Jakarta, and we start with a man called Rama, who's mumbling to himself and just training like crazy, breathing, punching bags. I think the use of sound in this film is really great. It starts straight away with like this watch ticking really loudly, and keeps on seeming to get like faster and louder as his training regiment's going on. We see him pick up a gun, and he says goodbye to his pregnant wife. As he's leaving the house, there's an old man sat on the floor, and he says, "I promise I will bring him back." So we kind of feel like we're setting up for sort of some kind of rescue mission. We shoot to the riot van, where Jaka, who is the sergeant of this mission, is talking about the big bad of this film, Tama Riyadi, and explaining that he's like this respected kind of kingpin in the underworld, and owns this apartment block where it's just full of drug dealers, killers, criminals. All the lowlifes in Jakarta live in this one building, and that he has a narcotics lab there that they need to take down, and they need to bust.
So that's the whole premise, essentially.
That's the premise. I love this. Going into a film, you have pretty much straight away within the first 5 minutes, we go, right, this guy's clearly our hero. He's on a rescue mission. The plot of this film is they're going to go into this building and take out the bad guy. Like, perfect. 5 minutes in, I know what to expect.
SWAT team going in to kill the drug dealers. Exactly. It sounds like every NES video game.
Did you ever see the Dread film, the later one with Carl Urban?
I have a feeling I did, but I don't...
It's really good, but it's essentially the same plot as this.
They watched this movie and they were
think so. Yeah. This Dread came out shortly after. So all then bust into the building, start straight away by just shooting people in the head, arresting them, cuffing them, gagging them. They're pretty, like, solid to start with, like, taking everyone down.
There's a lot of crazy shooting. And
oh, lots and lots. A guy's trying to get into the building, and he seems like the only non-criminal of the film who lives there. And he's saying he needs to get this medication to his wife. They're like, it's too dangerous, you can't go in. And this kind of introduces the tension between Jaka, the sergeant, and Rama, the hero. And Rama basically promises, stick with me, I'll keep you safe, I'll help you get to your wife with the medication. We have Lieutenant Wayu, who's a very interesting character in this. He's in charge of this mission, and he's talking to Jucker, like, Jucker's saying, look, we need more people for this. We don't have enough if this is as crazy.
So there's 20 SWAT guys going in.
Yeah, only 20 SWAT guys.
Yeah, that's not that many.
It's like, we need backup. This whole building is full of lowlifes. And he's like, no, this is all we have. We'll be fine. And then the mayhem commences. So
the raid starts.
They're breaking into all the rooms. They're cuffing people. A little boy, this moment's pretty cool, a little boy runs out and it all like freezes and slows down, and the boy stood there silently and then runs off and warns everyone, the police are here.
Snitch.
And Wayu fires a shot, and there's this really cool moment where you see the bullet fly in slow motion as the boy is running and screaming police, and it cuts through his neck.
Yeah, this is gross. The bullet goes through the wall or door and goes through the little kid's neck. It goes like right in his throat, essentially.
So this kind of
violent
lets you think maybe we shouldn't be trusting this Wayu guy. He says it was a necessity. It's a necessity to save us. But this is a kid. He's just
as soon as a cop kills a kid, then I'm instantly, I think he's a baddie.
Yeah.
So.
Have you got any comments so far, WH?
Well, I gotta say, based on your description of like the building, the home of the drug lord, it sounds oddly enough like the BDE.
Just full of low BDE,
full of low lives and wrestling fans.
Like maybe some chemicals being.
There's no
cured.
There's no chemicals here. There's no chemicals here. WH. There's no chemicals. Just that legal good. You know.
I like the setup of this film. Like from like you're saying, Davey, from like the van, the way the camera kind of just pans in through the van into the truck all the way to like Jacka, and you kind of get the sense of like who is who, what the power dynamics are among the SWAT team, and then I like when they start going up the stairs and you flash by all the numbers of the floors. 3, 4, 5, 6. It really creates this really great tension and kind of sense of I suppose time, like which we'll see later. Like they're going up pretty fast, and it's going to take a lot longer for them to get down.
Yeah, I think the editing is one of the key things that makes this film so good. The sound and the editing, as you say, those cool shots with the floor numbers, because. We learn later that our bad guy, our big bad, is on floor 15. So you've got a long way to go up before you're at that moment. We then shoot to Tama Riyadi, who's watching. He's in this room full of TV screens.
So this guy's like the head baddie. He's the drug lord.
Yeah, the big baddie in this film.
What's his name?
Tama Riyadi. Tamatonga. So he's watching all the surveillance of the police coming in and makes a phone call saying, "We have visitors. You know what to do."
Uh-oh.
And suddenly at this point, all the police start getting taken out. We see a man, one of the men they've already cuffed, is like tied with his hands behind his back with cable ties.
Zip ties.
And is sat on a chair but manages to... like a sort of contortionist, like slip out
without breaking the zip ties.
So he has his hands now in front of him and has a machete under the table in front and pulls it out and just goes batshit crazy on everyone.
Yeah, this guy, he's a villain, obviously. Yeah. But I kind of had the sense he was kind of a good guy, because I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna escape here. He's gonna get out of here. And then as soon as he's escaping, he grabs a machete that's just lovely placed under his kitchen table. Which we need a machete under our kitchen table.
Well, we learned that this place gets like attacked a lot by gangs.
Yeah.
And they're always prepared, but they've never had the police actually attempt it before.
So this guy just pulls out a machete like Voorhees.
There's lots of machetes in this film.
There's a machete scene later that I love.
This man then shoots another cop and informs Riyadi over the phone that the 5th floor is secure.
Ooh.
So everyone who was on the 5th floor is dead. We then get Tama over the tannoy go, "You may have noticed that there are some unwelcome guests." and lets the whole building know that the police are now on the 6th floor. And if they help him by taking them out, they can have free rent for the rest of their lives.
Wow.
What would you do for free rent, Braden?
I would grab my machete. Probably. Like, the criminal bosses always have the leverage, because they don't have to play by the rules. They can say, yeah, you want free rent? I'll give you free rent. Go kill these cops for me. Let's go. And they're like, yeah, all right, let's do it. Yeah, I thought that was cool. I think that machetes are the most evil weapon a killer could use.
Like, is it a knife? Is it a sword? It's a machete.
Both.
It's great.
Both. It's big, so it's a big knife.
You know what I want to know? I want to know what, like, Scrump would do for free rent in the BDE.
There's a few things I think I already know what
Married
Scrump would do.
mainly.
Which?
Right now, he's popping right now because I said his name.
He's quoting it and putting it on Twitter. I like the fact that this is set up like a video. It's almost like a video game, because it's like the SWAT team's going into the house, and then instantly you see them kind of get picked off. When the bad guy there, the drug lord, he's like, hey, we got some visitors. So he's like, I'm gonna call the neighbors, and then the neighbors are snipers, and they're picking off the cops one by one. It's like a criminal boss who's like, hey, you want more money and more drugs? Then help me.
He's got an army, basically. They're completely ready for war.
So now the premise is all these cops are stuck inside. And like we said, there's only 20 of them, so now a bunch of them are killed off. So now it's like...
And they're on the 6th floor, so it's not even like you can jump out the windows or anything. You're trapped in the middle of this building. We see Jaka chatting to the lieutenant, and he's like, what the fuck have you got us into? He realizes this was a much, much bigger mission than he thought. And
people.
Realizes they're fucked. They're all going to die. They're all trapped here. We then see Tama's henchmen, Andy and Mad Dog. And Andy's questioning Mad Dog, like, why... what the fuck are you doing? And Mad Dog's like, look, you don't kill the police, you buy them. Like, we've got unlimited money, we can buy the police. Don't worry.
Sure.
We're safe here because we have guys in our pocket. We've always got the upper hand.
Foreshadowing. Bad guys always got dirty cops.
And it's around this point where we realize that Lieutenant Wayu is a dirty
He might
cop.
be.
Might be dirty. And this kind of, like, you've got the Jaka questioning him, like, why are we on this mission? What are we doing? So we get to, the police get into one of the rooms the lieutenant is actually in and barricade it. One gets shot right through the window, and Rama realizes that they're trapped here. So starts banging on the floor with his feet to try and find a hollow spot. And then they grab an axe and they start hacking away at the floor so they can drop down to the floor below. Jaka leads the team, jumping to the floor below, and there's just a melee straight away. Like, more people are running into floor 5, trying to take them out. This is one of my favourite moments of the film, and this is something that keeps in my memory. One of the bad guys drops from floor 6 to floor 5 and just gets caught with a massive spear. And
Okay,
like
yeah,
midair,
yeah.
like Edge jumping into Jeff Hardy and just sends him flying through the window. One of the police gets shot in the ear, and then the sound all changes, so it's just this ringing. This is done a lot in films, but I always think it's pretty cool, like the ringing with the muffled gunshots. It's almost like the calm of the storm, like the eye of the storm. Rama then grabs like a gas cylinder, throws it into a fridge. This bit's crazy.
Yeah, so it's like a propane tank or something. Yeah. It's something crazy. It's a giant propane tank, and they're like barricaded. They need a bunch of guys, so they shove it into a fridge.
Nuke the fridge.
Yeah, I guess. And then they shoot at it. It explodes, obviously.
Yeah, he like throws something in there like to set it on fire, puts it at the door, and takes out all the guys that are trying to break in.
It's kind of like when Indiana Jones gets in the fridge.
Yeah, nuke the fridge. That's what.
Do you know why Indiana Jones got in that fridge?
No,
because it was a really poorly written film.
Yeah, years ago there was a man who wrote a script for a movie about time travel, but the time travel device was not originally a DeLorean. The time travel device was a fridge, and this script sat for years because no one wanted a scene about a fridge that explodes and shit. So years later, Indiana Jones had a scene where he jumps in the fridge, and it saves him. Ridiculous. So in this, they're putting the bomb in the fridge, and it doesn't save them. And wouldn't a propane tank in a fridge explode a whole building? Or is it not? It wasn't a giant.
No, it's all contained in the fridge, man, and it's directional, so it's exploding outside the door.
I wonder if all the things in the fridge survived, like the strong zeros. Do they have strong zeros in Indonesia?
Why are you asking me? I don't live in Indonesia.
Well, you should.
It's a little bit humid, more humid there than I care for. So no, I'm going to stay right here in Japan.
We go back to the bad guys, and we learn that 2 rooms have been taken out, and about 30 paid tenants are just splattered against the walls.
Oh.
30 men have been taken out, and Tama informs them to clear out all their stashes, as that can pay for all the damage, and orders them to go down and join in the fun.
In the raid.
Mad Dog orders some men to join Andy, and Andy's like, I don't need anyone. And he's like, no, these men are going with you. Continuing that power struggle between the 2 henchmen. We get a big fight sequence in the corridor.
This is crazy. It's in like a hallway of one of the floors, where it's like, what, how many good guys against how many bad guys here? It's like 1 good guy versus like 10
a load
dudes.
of bad guys, yeah.
It's crazy. This fight scene's nuts.
Rama then starts banging on the door of the man who he helped earlier, the man with the medication for his wife, and has his friend who was shot in the ear with him, and is begging for help. He's going, let me in. But the wife's like, no, don't. We're safe here. Like, just don't let any of this madness come in. But the guy's like, he helped us earlier, so lets them in. And then the bad guys.
He gets to that place because he fights all those people.
Yeah,
like, he fought off. It was like a gauntlet match
completely,
because he's in the hallway and he fights off all these people. And then they won't let him in. Like, imagine getting through 10 people, which is insane. One on 10. There's this scene where he takes a blade and he puts it into the guy's a thigh, right near the knee, and then lifts the blade all the way up or lifts the blade all the way down. And he does this on a few different people. Like, he just murks motherfuckers, and then to only be turned down because a guy doesn't want to let you in his apartment. And you're like, what the fuck? I just ran through 15 people.
Big night out, stumbling home, managing to get home. You've got all your stuff with you. You avoid all the criminals on the streets of Toronto, and then you get home and forget the password to get into the apartment.
Yeah, that's not happened to you. We have a passcode here at the BDWH. I'm not going to tell you what the passcode is, but sometimes
I already know it.
What is it?
Kairi Sane.
And David forgot it once.
Yeah, I was outside for a couple of hours, I believe.
Wait.
Yeah, David claimed...
How do you not recognize the sound of your own roommate's voice?
No, you can't.
Braden was at work.
Was I?
Yeah, it was New Year's Eve.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's how... Yeah, David's like, hey...
Like a keypad?
Yeah, we have a keypad.
It's like a PIN number to get into the building.
I see.
And I got a message from David being like, hey... And then 30 minutes later, it's like, what's our passcode? I'm like, what the fuck? That was 30 minutes ago. What were you doing for those 30 minutes? And he's like, to this day, he still doesn't know. Obviously, he was having a fight in a corridor with 10 people stabbing them.
Yeah. Can I just say at this point, these machete dudes, they're the scariest things in this movie. But up to this point, all the other guys in the building, they're trying to kill the cops. They're all your typical, street gang thug types, but these guys, especially the leader with the tracksuit, nothing says scary to me more than a guy in a tracksuit with a machete and a gold chain. Let me just tell you, okay? This guy's fucking scary. At this point, I feel this movie turns into like one of them survival horror movies. At this point, you know.
Yeah, there's the scene where the guy with the machete, he's clanging it. He's going ding ding. He's like a murderer in a scary movie. He's slanging.
He thrives on this.
Yeah, he loves it. He's taking his machete, and it's like Jason Voorhees never does this with his machete, but this guy's like banging it off things to make that clanging noise. You know, it's like to scare. It's like when isn't it in Power Rangers, the movie, when they bang the things together to make the sound and the bad guys go away? It's like that. But the bad guy's like, ha ha ha, got this machete. WH, you should get a chain and a tracksuit. I feel like you own an Adidas tracksuit.
I'd neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah, I feel like you're that kind of guy. I feel like you are.
Well, you're just going to have to find out, won't you?
When you bring strong zeros.
That's right.
So the bad guys break into the room, and the guy and his wife are there, and they're going, "Where are they? We know you're hiding them." They're trashing the whole room, and there's a really cool shot where the camera sort of goes up and looks over, and you realise that Rama and his mate are hiding in the wall.
In a fake wall.
So the machete guy sees this wall and goes up to it and it's like, I bet they're in there. And starts stabbing his machete through the wall. And it's getting closer and closer to Rama. And then eventually slices through his cheek. Like an inch the other way, Rama's dead. Our
would have been
hero's
dead.
done. And it's just gone right through his cheek. And you see him like trying not to breathe, trying not to make a sound at all.
As that machete is halfway through his face.
And he's saying, I know they're there, I know they're in here. And the husband's going like, get out, you've already trashed my room, you've ruined my life, like get out of here. So he pulls the machete out, and I feel Rama was he trying to like wipe the blood off as it was going through the wall?
Yeah, he tried to, but he didn't.
Yeah.
Because I thought this was going to come back to get him, but it kind of didn't. Because he gets the machete through him, but they don't know he's there. And then when they pull the machete back out through the fake wall, the bad guys leave. But if they were smart, they would have saw the trickle of blood on the machete that wasn't there before. And then they would have went, but they didn't do that.
Rama is then trying to patch up his friend and get the bullet out. And he's asking for something sharp to help get it out. And all they've got is a butter knife. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be absolute agony. We flick over to Andy, who's with the two men that Mad Dog insisted he goes with, and he kills them both. So you're like, whoa, what's the deal? What's the deal? Why is he gone rogue? Rama gets cornered in the corridor by 4 men and takes all of them out. Like, Rama's insane. He can take on 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, at this point he hits the
X Factor.
Is this where he hits the X Factor?
Yeah, so
he hits like a Daniel Bryan running knee. He hits an RKO. He hits like crazy moves. But there's this one, I think this is my favorite death in this movie. And anytime I review a movie, I have to say my favorite death. And I think it's this one. Now, wrestling fans know the move, the X Factor. WH's Park, favorite wrestler, X-Pac.
Oh, right.
Yeah. The X Factor is when you take a guy and you basically jump and sit out and you slam the guy face first, like kind of in between your legs to hit the ground. So this guy does it when he's already sent someone through like a wall or a door, but then there's like jagged edges of the broken like door or whatever. So he continues to fight this guy, and then he runs and does the X Factor, but the guy's like face and chin and jaw go through the jagged like remainder of whatever wall or door was left. So he gets X Factored, face planted through the jagged things that go like, it's great. It's fantastic.
It's nasty because
it's great.
You think, and that they don't reveal like what he.
You don't
slammed
see
him
that
on
he did it,
until
but
after,
you're kind of thinking,
just hits the X Factor, and then you see his body's just like contorted with shards of wood through his neck.
It's nasty. I bet X-Pac never got that kind of. If you put someone through a table, maybe.
Do you have a favorite death in this film, WH?
I'm trying to think. I really like that scene you talked about earlier, where the guys, like one of the bad guys, jumping through the 6th floor to the 5th floor, and then I think it's Rama, isn't it? He just grabs him, like you're talking about the spear, and just throws him out the window. I like. There's one where they throw a guy one of the cops throws a guy. I think Rama throws one of the guys over the staircase, and the guy's back just hits the ledge.
Yes. Yes. On like the banister, and just.
I think that guy's like the brother of the guy who gets the X Factor with the jagged door through his chin, because there's a shot where that guy's lingering, looking at the body, and he gets all angry. You're like, okay, that's his brother, or he owes him money or something like that.
He's like, what?
And now he's pissed.
They're the JC and Chris of this film.
Jobbers.
We then, like, from this point onwards, it seems to get very wrestling-like, because I've just got, there is a powerbomb attempt into a chokehold by one of the bad guys.
There's a Dream Valley driver in this movie.
Yeah,
there's a Dream Valley driver.
It suddenly feels like I'm reviewing NXT, because there's just all these crazy moves going on.
The fight that happens continues to happen right after the fight we were just talking about. Like, from here on out, it's just like fighting, essentially. And there's like the guy's hitting knees, and he basically does the like fireman's carry, but the way Dream does it, where he like kind of rolls into it and then hits like a Death Valley driver kind of move. I mean, that's a move. Thinking of wrestling moves to use in actual fights, there's a few moves that in wrestling you're like, oh, that probably doesn't look like it does much, but in a real fight, it's probably the move that kills you.
Yeah.
And then in reverse, it's like, would the Ushigoroshi really kill somebody? Probably, right? But there's other, like, would an X Factor really kill someone if there wasn't shards of wood? Probably not. No, probably not. You know what would kill people? The X-Pac sex tape. That was what would kill.
Okay, moving on. Rama escapes and runs into Andy, and this is the point we realise that Andy is Rama's brother.
Yes.
And this is the reason why Rama's gone on this mission, to rescue his brother. Jaka and the Lieutenant Wayu are going at it. The lieutenant is corrupt and only orchestrated this mission to take out Tama, as Tama has like a file of all the police who are corrupt.
Dirty cops.
And that's why he doesn't want any backup either, because he doesn't want too many people knowing. He basically knows this is a suicide mission. He's sending these guys to their death so he can take out Tama and he can be essentially clean. Jaka and Mad Dog have a fight.
Mad Dog is the guy with the machete earlier, WH, that you're talking about?
No, Mad Dog's the henchman.
But he's like the lead henchman, I'd say, right?
He's the lead.
He's the scariest one.
The machete guy is like a step down.
Sure.
Like Andy and Mad Dog are considered like
again, it's all a video game. It's like there's levels
completely.
to this. Like as soon as you get, they're in this building, this compound, and as soon as they get floors up or floors down, it's like they hit another like boss. You know when you play a scroll screen arcade game, and side screen or whatever, and then you get to the end, and it's like, well, you gotta fight this boss, and then you beat that boss. Okay, next level. And then boss. That's the setup.
Absolutely.
Here. And this guy,
the guy with the machete and tracksuit, that's Chase Owens, and like fucking Mad Dog is like, fucking Bad Luck Fale or something.
Wow, that's not. I was just about to say how much I like this Mad Dog guy, and now I really Mad Dog's like Jay White.
No, but he's not the leader. He's who? Okay, we'll say it's like the Kenny version of the Bullet Club.
Sure.
Then Andy and Mad Dog are the fucking Young Bucks. Okay?
Wow,
completely.
Wow,
yeah.
Get off my show.
Machete is still fucking Chase Owens. Okay?
Well, I like this Mad Dog guy because there's the fight scene that I think was my favorite fight scene, and it's involving him.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah.
So Mad Dog has a really cool line here. He says,
"Oh yeah,
using a gun is like fast food. It's too easy."
He says, "Squeezing a trigger is like ordering takeout." That's something a psychopath says. Yeah. Obviously, that's something a crazy villain would say because he has the opportunity to kill them, and he puts the gun down. He's like, "No, I ain't gonna. I'm not here to shoot somebody." It's true though. Like real ones don't want to. You know, they want to kill you with their bare hands. They want to feel themselves kill you.
Fist against fist.
That's how you know you're a fucking psycho when you say squeezing a trigger is like ordering takeout.
So he puts the gun down, and Mad Dog and Jaka go at it. Mad Dog hits him with here we go, wrestling moves, a running, swinging neck breaker.
There you go.
And Jaka's down on the floor, defeated. Mad Dog picks him up and snaps his neck. I was surprised at this death. Like, Jaka seemed like a pretty big deal and was taken out pretty easily.
I thought he was going to be saved.
And I think that's like they're building up Mad Dog. This is the Jay White beating Okada at Wrestle Kingdom, because you know he's going on to be champion.
And I was so shocked.
Month. Yeah,
I was so shocked. Yeah.
We go back to the brothers talking, and Rama's like, "I'm here to get you out." And Andy doesn't want to leave. He says, "My life has changed. My father didn't respect me before. He definitely won't respect me now." And Rama's like, "But you're going to be an uncle soon.
Ooh.
Come out. You're going to be an uncle.
I'm having a baby. You can't die. You have to be in my life."
So that's always going to change things. Like there's a little one on the way. Rama tells the lieutenant that he's going to stay with him until this mission ends. And the lieutenant reveals that Tama is on the 15th floor, and that's where they need to head to.
Ugh, 15 floors.
Andy goes back with Mad Dog to Tama's lair, and Tama's questioning him. He's seen on the surveillance that he was chatting to Rama and didn't kill him. So asks to see his hands, because obviously if he's been fighting and killing, his hand should be bruised and bloody, and tells him to turn him around.
Because he doesn't know that.
Mad Dog's brought the body of Jaka up, and it's like, "This is what I've done for you." And Andy's just come back empty-handed.
Because he's not... She's trying not to kill...
Exactly.
Yeah, because he's now on the... we know he's involved with the good guy.
Yeah. And basically realizes he's turned.
He's turned face.
Grabs a knife and just sticks it through his hand.
Stabs him through the hand.
We then go to my favourite fight scene, which is in the narcotics lab. And this scene's crazy. We see choke slams, we see V triggers, like running knees.
There's a lot of V triggers, yeah.
There's an axe kick, and there's death by I don't even know who it was, but there's a head just like pounded into a whole heap of cocaine on the desk. Which I guess if you're gonna go, like, it's one way to go out.
I mean, go for it. That sounds wild.
Yeah, Lieutenant Wayu gets really into this. He's like, he turns into a Terry Funk, just like beating one guy in the chair. It's awesome.
But this is like watching Aleister Black and Ricochet just going at it, but like
with a mountain of coke.
On a mountain of coke, yeah. Like,
could you imagine? Ricochet does not need coke, dude.
Rama finds Andy chained up and being whipped by Mad Dog.
Ooh.
And Mad Dog then pretty much frees him, because he's like, "All right, let's go at this."
Yeah, I like bad guys like this. I like people who are like... It's the same bad guy who said the line about the takeout. He's like, all right. I don't need to beat around the bush here. I'm going to just kill you the way I want to kill you. So he frees him.
This is like Phantom Menace, though. It's like, it's a weird dynamic.
It did remind me of Phantom Menace.
When you have your two good guys against one bad guy. And
yeah, but the bad guy's more well-trained.
Yeah.
That's what they kind of made me think that way. Like, as much as your good guys are good guys, as much as Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi are well trained in the Force, the Sith Lord Darth Maul, you know, he's evil. He knows the dirty tricks. He can take on two people, just like Mad Dog.
But then, like, Mad Dog earlier is like, "Hey, let's have a fair fight. Let's put the gun down." Now he's like, the good guy's like, "Screw fair fight, it's 2-on-1.
Yeah.
Wayu finds Tama and gets Dagu, who's like one of the only remaining police officers left.
Trying to get out of here.
To tie Tama up. And then the ultimate heel turn, as if this lieutenant wasn't crooked enough, he then shoots Dagu in the head.
He turns on his friend.
And says to Tama, "You're going to get me out of here alive."
But then it goes back to the fight. And this is the fight scene I'm talking about. The 2-on-1 is my favorite fight scene, I think, from this movie.
This is insane.
Just crazy.
Do you have notes on it? Do you want to go through this?
My notes for this movie are very similar through each thing. My notes are like, Mans gets murked. Wow, there's a knife through his leg. Wait, what happened to that guy's neck? Machete guy clanging. No, for this fight, I have the bad guy is whooping ass. He does a snapmare in this fight. There's a bunch of sleeper holds. There's a bunch of, again, it's 2-on-1. So imagine the martial arts kind of thing comes into play. Specifically, I'd say into this fight more so than any other, because there's two. So it's like there's always someone kicking this guy, but he's deflecting it like it's like, whoosh, whoosh. It's like the lightsaber fight where Darth Maul had double things. He's blocking each thing effortlessly because he's such a badass. He's such a bad guy. Yeah, my notes on this are, holy shit, that's lit. Because this guy, Mad Dog, taking on two guys is really great. The choreography in this is fantastic, and the way it's shot is really cool. The fighting is looks like it's a wrestling match. It's so well put together. It's so well choreographed. Like, everything about it is great.
I mean,
it's violent.
I gotta believe these guys hurt each other at
For
times
sure.
in this film.
How do you
Like,
ever? Is it not a case in these movies where someone accidentally gets punched in the face? Like, this has to happen
surely,
all the time,
yeah.
right?
Well, the fight coordinators are like Mad Dog, the actor who plays Mad Dog, Yayan Rihan.
I would say, is he one of them? Because
He's one of them,
yeah.
and Rama is the other one.
Yeah, they have to be because they're so good at it.
So they're the stars of the film, and they're also the fight coordinators. So it really works out well. Like they know each other really well. I think they worked on the previous film
Sure.
that the director made, and they're both like kind of really well trained in the Indonesian martial art that I'm not going to attempt to say because like I think Davey did a good enough job. But like these guys they choreographed the Raid 2. I think they did some other films, and like they're kind of big stars. I think in Indonesia, and they're getting kind of more roles in Hollywood now.
Well, like if they're the ones that created this fight scene, I don't want to call it. Can you call a fight scene choreography? I guess.
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah. I feel like it's so well. I grew up. I'm a '90s kid. I grew up watching a lot of Jackie Chan movies, but I was smart enough as a young kid to realize that all the bad guys in his movies are always the same fucking people. It's because they're the choreographers who do the fight scenes. And I'm not talking about your bad bosses. I'm talking about like the quote unquote henchmen in your movies that are always in the actual fight scenes. And if you look, they're the same guys cast in each movie because he's like, hey, I know that these guys are trained with me, that we can do the choreography and do these crazy fight scenes. And I've only seen these guys in this movie, but they go so well together. Specifically, these three, where it's just like non-stop fighting, non-stop action. I'd say from like halfway through this movie, there's no non-crazy action going on.
It doesn't let you breathe.
Yeah, like this, and this one's in like the heat of it. It's just so crazy.
Mad Dog gets the advantage on the two and is about to kill Rama when Andy grabs like a pipe.
Okay, so in the fight, one of the guys gets snapmared.
Yeah,
multiple times. The bad guy loves to do the snapmare here. In wrestling, underutilized move, the snapmare. Could you not kill someone by doing the snapmare? Anyways, he snapmares the main guy, but as he's doing it, the guy's legs are up in the air and they hit the light fixture above.
Oh, it's the light tube.
So there's tubes of light that gets knocked down and shattered. However, there's like this part of the tube. So it is like extreme wrestling, like Terry Funk, like WH said. There's the tube that's left there, but it's like sharp. It's
sharp,
yeah. So that's what he grabs.
So yeah, Andy picks this up, stabs him in the neck. This would kill most men.
Yes.
But not Mad Dog.
No.
He gets up and continues to put on a hell of a fight, but eventually Rama manages to break free. He breaks one arm. He breaks the other arm. Hits him with a series of like Kyle O'Reilly palm strikes to the
those Malaysian chops.
Grabs the pipe that's the light tube that's still stuck in Mad Dog's neck and just slits it across.
This is violent. This is why this movie's rated R.
This death is awesome.
Yeah, he takes this light tube and slides it all, so it's already in the side of his neck and it's deep in there. And then he, without taking it out, slides it across the guy and kills him.
It's like he finally gets his like power up.
Yeah.
In the video game.
It's his fatality.
Goes crazy. Yeah.
Oh, it's nasty. I love this fight. I love that the Mad Dog, that's the bad guy. Yeah. This is where he dies. He's good. He's still my second favorite Mad Dog in movies. Mad Dog Biff Tannen. I thought this was the craziest fight. It's crazy death, too, man. That's like way to go. Getting stabbed by a light tube. Crazy.
We see Tama and Wayu, and Tama reveals that it goes as high up as the police commissioner.
Dirty cops.
Who's a dirty
it's
cop.
Like Batman, dirty cops.
And police commissioner Reza.
Reza?
Reza. R-E-Z-A.
They said Reza, and I got really excited. I thought the Liquid Swords, I thought the Wu-Tang Clan was about to come out.
And yeah, that he basically sent them all in to die, and that he has been paid by Tama this whole time. Wayu then just shoots Tama in the head, and then realizes the jig's up. He's going to face prison for a long, long time, and he doesn't want to do that. So he takes the gun, puts it under his chin, and pulls the trigger, but he's run out of bullets.
There's no bullets left.
So he gets taken by Rama and Andy. We then find the insurance plan of Tama, which was the database of every dirty cop.
It's the tapes of every. I mean, I watched the dub version.
Yeah.
So it's there a lot of their mouths moving and nothing coming out, and then it's we got the tapes of every dirty cop. By the way, like every voice, I have to shout out the English voice actors for doing a fantastic job.
How was the dubbing? Not great?
Well, like I said, I grew up watching a lot of like maybe not so good martial arts movies sometimes on TBS and shit, and like this dubbing was this was fantastic.
Right.
It was up to par.
The brothers walk out with Wayu in cuffs, and Andy says that he's not going to go with him. He's going to stay. And Rama's like, why? Why would you do that? And he's like, the same reason why you wear that uniform. It fits. And they go their separate ways as the credits roll.
As Mike Shinoda plays. And that's the raid. They survived the raid. Yeah, this movie is crazy. I highly recommend checking this movie out if you've not seen it, simply because it's just 1 hour and 40 minutes of just fuckery.
Yeah.
Just people getting murked.
Has it sold the idea of the raid too? Like, you've set up the villain. It's this police commissioner behind it all.
Yeah.
Would it be something you're interested in seeing? Not necessarily to review, but has this film caught your attention enough to watch more?
Yeah, I'd say I know that they're both on Netflix. Which is, if something is added to Netflix, then I'm instantly more, it's easier for me to go into it more, because it's available right there. Yeah, I'll watch The Raid too. I gotta find out what happens. It's like when you play one video game and I gotta find out what happens in Double Dragon 2, you know? It's just like, that's what happens.
Right, and if I'm gonna sell it even more, all I'm gonna say is, Hammer Girl.
Hammer Girl. Okay. Does she kill someone with a hammer?
Just watch it.
Does she hammer dance?
Hammer Girl. You're going to love Hammer Girl.
All right. I'll watch The Raid 2. I thought this was a lot of fun. I've not seen a lot of action movies that are specifically like this. But when I do watch them, I'm like, hey, that's different. Like, I'm not super into the, like, Fast and the Furious and, like, all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
I'm more into, like, the fighting in this. I think it's more impressive.
It feels like watching, like, the best wrestling, I find.
I feel like I'm watching Okada Tanahashi, Wrestle Kingdom, like some like craziness when you're seeing a fight scene so perfected almost, like they're doing it like flawlessly, like it is a form of art watching people fight. It's the art of war, essentially. It looks great, and when it's filmed kind of beautifully like this one is, it looks really, really great. It fits really great for a movie.
WH, where would this rank on your sandwich rating system?
Oh, it's definitely a Montreal smoked meat sandwich for an action film. One thing I really love about this movie is the way it's shot. Like, Gareth Evans does a really good job of framing every scene, right? Like, so there's a lot of wide shots. You capture everything. There's not that much like rapid cutting, which can get kind of, like annoying and kind of, I feel like I'm on the verge of a seizure sometimes watching movies like that.
Yeah.
And I really like the use of tracking shots. Like, he'll follow a guy. Two guys are like, I think in the narcotics lab, there's one scene, I think it's Rama or Dagu, and he's running, and one of the thugs is running towards him, and they're both tracking each other. Like, the camera's tracking both guys as they're about to like ram each other like bulls. And it's just beautiful. It's just like,
is that when they're
so
running
clear.
across like the lab tables?
Yeah,
I
with
think
all the
it tracks
cocaine
both,
stuff,
and then
right?
one jumps and the other like does a baseball slide underneath.
Into the coke.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. Just things like that. I thought Gareth Evans does a really good job of like using the choreography that like what's his name, Yayan Rihan and Iko Uwais, who are the two stars of the film and choreographers. I think they've worked up on like 3 films up to this point. I know, like, so Raid was their second film, so they know each other pretty well, and so like I think they work together really well to like, you know, choreograph everything and then like frame everything, how and do all the setups and how are they going to shoot it and like what kind of shots are they going to use. And the editing isn't obnoxious. Like some movies are so obnoxiously edited in the action genre that it's kind of hard to follow things. This is not one of those films, so everything's really clear and easy to follow, and I think it makes it a superior action film.
Yeah, I like I'm like David. I like more so comedies and dramas and things like that. But don't get me wrong, when it comes to action, like, you know, the biggest my favorite thing to get people talking instantly when you talk to an action film fan, you go, "Hey, what's better, Die Hard or Terminator 2?" And then everyone loses their shit. Because I do like action films, but I like when they're put together. And you said that maybe these guys getting together and making all this. They've made one movie prior, they've made this one, and then they made, like, what, the Raid 2? But I've heard that the Raid 2, you know, maybe isn't as good as this one.
Some people think it's better.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay, so I definitely have to check it out then. I just feel like it was something different for me, because martial arts is big here. It's been big here for years, but I feel like it's kind of, like, talking about a movie being dubbed and things like that. Like, people just kind of throw it into that, like, category, like B kind of movie, but like it's still so good. Like, this is the action in it is just as good as any of other action movies you'd watch in the theaters here in North America. So I feel like people need to kind of go out of their comfort zone sometimes for movies, and I feel like this is a good way to get. I mean, obviously, this is a huge movie. I'm watching it on Netflix, but a movie like this is a good step for someone to go, "Hey, I kind of like that. What other things is there that way?" So.
Yeah, I mean, I like doing research into the film. I definitely want to check out Merental, which was the one he directed before this.
Right.
What I think is also crazy is Gareth Evans doesn't speak Indonesian or what.
Yeah.
I don't know what the language they speak there is, but he's English. Like,
wow.
He speaks English. So to be able to direct something so successfully,
how did that go?
In a foreign language, I think that's crazy. I'm quite surprised to see he hasn't done a great deal more. He did one of the segments from VHS 2. He did the Raid 2, and
VHS, I've seen those.
Yeah, you know, like the. Like short films.
Yeah, VHS is really okay.
But he hasn't done a great deal since then. He's mainly done he's done a TV episode, he's done some shorts.
He's making that.
But I think this guy is
money.
really talented and should be making more.
Have you seen The Apostle?
I haven't. No.
That thing's crazy. I watched that a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, he makes a horror movie, but there's like action in it too.
Okay, that
basically it's one of those like Wicker Man style horror movies.
Oh, it's on Netflix as well.
Like Nicolas Cage is in it?
No, fuck, it's better than that shit.
Whoa, I don't know about
I'll
that.
check. This looks cool, actually. Yeah, I'll check that out.
Is there any other WH? Is there any other movies similar to this one? Like maybe not so much martial arts, but like something similar to this that you would recommend?
There's a movie called Drive. Let me look it up.
With Ryan Gosling?
No, that's a good movie though.
That is a good movie.
I was going to say, don't make fun of that movie. I really love it.
Okay, it stars a guy named Mark Dacascos, who's like a really famous, not a kind of semi-famous action star.
Okay.
From the 80s. It's from 1997. It stars Mark Dacascos, Kadeem Hardison from A Different World. Brittany Murphy's in this. It's directed by a guy named Steve Wang. I saw this at Midnight Madness. No, I saw this at Fantasia when we had Fantasia in Toronto. This is an amazing, like, straight-to-video action movie.
Okay.
It is amazing, like, how good it is for whatever budget it was made for.
Sure.
So Mark Dacascos plays a guy who has, like, a a human machine part that gives him like enhanced powers, like stronger, faster.
Right.
And this gang wants to like get the heart from him. He's supposed to be like the courier for it, but he takes off with it or some shit. And then he hooks up with Kadeem Hardison from a different world, and then they have an adventure, and it's really
all right.
Cool. Like it's one of the best action movies I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
Drive. If you can find it. I don't know if you can find it, but if you can find it, watch it.
I'm reading the
not Driver.
the synopsis for it on IMDb, and it goes: a prototype enhanced human on the run from Chinese hired hitmen hooks up with a dreadlocked bystander.
I love it.
And the two of them elude their pursuers narrowly each time. I love how they've defined like the second character just as dreadlocked.
It's 1997.
Yeah, 1997. Things have changed.
We have one piece of feedback over at the forum from Ryan from Parts Unknown. A simple plot, cartoonish villains, and overwhelming odds, but as soon as Rama starts kicking ass, this movie goes with him. Holy shit. Utterly jaw-dropping visuals, fight choreography, a twist or two. It overcomes the fairly basic setup to become a must-watch. 3.5 out of 5. 4 on a good day. Well, today's a good day, so 4 out of 5.
I would give it 4 out of 5 fire emojis.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's what I would give this movie. That's what I give it. That's my star rating system.
WH gives it a Montreal smoked meat sandwich.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'll give it a Kairi Zane.
You gotta work on that. You'll work on your rating system.
Sure.
It'll be something involving pirates and coins or something like that. I would say I liked it just as much as I liked we were talking about John Wick briefly. I enjoy those movies.
Yeah.
Simply, I watch wrestling for maybe the same reason a lot of other people enjoy it. Like, you watch it, you kind of know what it is. It could be stupid at some points, but you just check out and it's entertaining. That's what action movies are for me, and I feel like I really did like this movie. So go watch it. Go watch The Raid Redemption. I don't know what else there is to say.
No, any final thoughts, WH?
Yeah, I go watch The Raid 2. I think The Raid 2 is actually better.
Whoa.
Right?
Well, we'll get back to that. Maybe we'll have to watch that down the line.
The story just expands, and I think the fight scenes, as good as the Raid's fight scenes are, The Raid 2 has some amazing fight scenes. I'm telling you, Hammer Girl. You're going to love Hammer Girl.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
Yeah.
I definitely need to rewatch it, The Raid 2. I'm completely down for watching
I almost made a joke, but it had the word nail in it, so I stopped.
Oh, dear. And that's where I think we should end.
So that's our Raid movie review. Postwrestling.com. You can listen to us every Thursday where me and David review WWE NXT wrestling. So we're always watching fight scenes, so to speak. WH, where can the fine people find you?
Well, I often do a monthly show with John Pollock. It's called Post Puroresu, and we cover Japanese professional wrestling. Like from New Japan, All Japan, Dragon Gate, Stardom, and you can find me on Twitter at WHPark9, the number 9, where I talk a lot of shit about people's gear.
Yeah, well, how would you rate the costuming? You didn't mention the costuming in this movie. I'm very shocked.
They're wearing SWAT gear, dude. What's there to say?
He did. He liked the tracksuit and chain.
Oh, right, the tracksuit. You did, motherfucker.
WH, if you don't...
everyone's wearing like fucking sweaters and baggy pants. There's not much going on.
It's the Shield. It's the Shield.
If you don't wear a tracksuit and chain to the tailgate
Takeover
party
tailgate
in Toronto,
SummerSlam,
I'll be very disappointed.
Dude, it's probably gonna be like 30 degrees.
It'll be hot, and it's a very hot bar as well.
Wrong answer.
No. I'm coming. I'm gonna wear like my Naito t-shirt.
Ugh.
I'm gonna be wearing. Hopefully, Wei has my folded brim post wrestling hat that he said he might get me.
You're not getting a folded. You're getting flat only, bud.
I'm not getting that stupid fucking snapback.
Then get the fuck out. Then you're not wearing a hat.
No,
I'm like you. I can't pull off snapbacks. I need a curve in my hat.
I'm getting a curved brim hat, and Wei's gonna get it for me. If you're listening to this, Wei, you promised. You better deliver.
It's all about the curve. Bring me some strong zeros, and it'll be a deal.
No, Forget it now. I'll bring Davey one. You can go get fucked.
Wow. Saizeriya.
Oh God.
Sayonara. Oh.
Right, I think Braden needs to go to bed or something.
Yeah. WH, thank you for joining us. Again, you can catch us every week. Davey, where can they find you?
You can find me at Davie Portman on Instagram and Twitter.
You can find me at the Brady. We will be back. We're doing a live NXT watch along, NXT Takeover Brooklyn, the first one, Wednesday night. I believe that's. I don't know, I'm trying to do the math. I don't have the date exactly.
It's Wednesday the 27th.
Wednesday the 27th.
6 p.m.
Also, go to prowrestlingtees.com/upnext and buy an upnext shirt and help us pay our internet bill.
Shout out to Rodney, because just this second he's been our first sale.
Wow. So shout out Rodney for being
so
our first
thank
sale.
you for that.
Postwrestling.com for everything. Goodbye. I love you. Be safe.
Ahoy!